Imagine standing in front of a 17-year-old and telling him that before the day is over, his future will be completely gone. Not damaged, not delayed, gone. The scholarships that he hasn't earned yet, the career he hasn't started, and the family he hasn't built. All of that will disappear before sunset. And most 17-year-olds would probably laugh it off. And it's not because they're foolish by any means, because at 17, the future feels infinite. A year feels long. 10 years feels unimaginable. 35 years might as well be another lifetime. And the problem is that youth creates an illusion that nearly every mistake can be fixed. So you fail a class, take it again in summer school. Or you lose a game, there's another season. And if you get fired from your job, well, you could apply for another one. So life keeps handing out second chances until many young people begin to believe every mistake comes with one. Then one day, they discover a mistake that doesn't. This is the story of Karmelo Anthony. But most importantly, it is the story of a fatal detail that has trapped thousands of young people long before he was born. The belief that consequences belong to the future. Because the future always feels far away until it suddenly arrives.
A Texas jury found 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony guilty of murdering 17-year-old Austin Metcalf in April of 2025 during a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. He was just sentenced to 35.
When people hear about a murder case, they often imagine evil. They imagine monsters. They imagine people who spent years planning destruction. But reality is often much more frightening. Sometimes the distance between ordinary life and a prison cell is measured in seconds. Not years, but seconds. One confrontation, a decision, one action, one moment that seems important at the time. And that's what makes cases like this so unsettling. Not because they're common, because they're possible. And possibility is far more frightening than rarity.
Didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was defending himself.
Think about all the people sitting in prison right now. Many of them didn't wake up planning to spend decades behind bars. They woke up believing they were dealing with a temporary problem. An insult, an argument, a threat, a moment of anger. But what they didn't realize was the temporary emotions often create permanent consequences. The emotion lasts minutes, but the consequences last decades. And by the time the emotion disappears, the consequences have already arrived. And one of the most uncomfortable truths about human beings is that we are terrible at understanding time. We understand money, we understand possessions, and we understand status. But time is different. Time feels endless until someone takes it away. Then suddenly every day becomes valuable. Every hour matters. Every birthday matters. Even ordinary afternoon becomes something precious. Because once time is gone, nothing can purchase it back. Not money, not apologies, not regret. Nothing. And the more I reflect on this is that the most frightening part is not that Karmelo Anthony was uniquely different. The frightening part is that millions of people, including myself, have experienced moments like this. A confrontation, an insult, a challenge, a moment where emotion begins moving faster than reason. And most of them simply got lucky. The fight ended, somebody walked away, or the situation cooled down. And when Karmelo Anthony was sentenced, many people focused on that number, 35 years. But numbers are very deceptive. 35 years sounds like a statistic, but it isn't. 35 years is watching your classmates become middle-aged. 35 years is watching your parents grow old. 35 years is watching the world move forward without you. You're missing birthdays, holidays, weddings, funerals, graduations, and countless ordinary moments that seem insignificant until they're no longer available. A prison sentence is not a single punishment. It's thousands of individual losses stretched over time. One day after another, 1 year after another, 1 decade after another. And that is the reality hidden behind the number. Nothing permanent happened. But luck is a terrible life strategy because eventually some people discover what happens when luck runs out.
All corroborated that. They all said that he was asked to leave the tent. There might have been.
They all didn't have, no, sir. No,
He
sir.
was asked to leave the tent, so he could have left that tent at any time. He chose not to. That's why he's going to jail for 35 years.
All 20.
And years from now, people may forget about the details of this case, but the lesson will still remain that a human being can spend 17 years building a future and lose it within less than a minute. And not because he intended to, but because they believed there would still be time afterwards. And that's the fatal detail. The assumption that tomorrow would still be available. The assumption that the mistake would be like all the other ones, until suddenly it didn't. And by that time that realization arrived, the future was already gone. And some mistakes take seconds to make and decades to understand.